Take one hostile desert, insert 8 young adventurers, and bake in 40-degree heat for 3 weeks. It's a recipe for tension, trauma, and triumph. Every night the team get the chance to let off steam in a video diary, giving us the chance to find out what's really going down in the desert. The 8 adventurers are deep in desert training in the southern African country of Namibia. Their mission is to help protect the endangered black desert rhino, but first they need to acclimatise to this extreme environment. On day 4, the group faced their toughest test so far, navigating up a mountain in the tropical heat, and it wasn't long before tempers were fraying. David and Amy confessed in their video diaries that once again they were starting to annoy each other.
It was quite hard going, but at least we got the map reading and stuff done, but we had a few squabbles.
I thought it would be a long walk, but it only turned out to be a kilometre. But it was a long kilometre at that because the group kept just being stupid.
It is steep. It is, Martin.
David's obviously, he's physically he's fitter probably than all of us, so I think he was getting a bit annoyed with, you know, us sort of moving a bit slower and maybe taking longer for decisions and stuff.
But what way is your compass pointing? Because if I go by mine, I'm going that way.
Like 400 stops. I don't like not being in control of the situation. So I knew where we were going from the start, but they didn't seem to figure out, and I tried telling them.
I think he just has to realise that there's different abilities in the group. No, this direction. We follow the arrow.
We still had to stop every 5 minutes in the baking heat and argue about which way to go when it was blatantly obvious. And that kind of got me very enraged, and I just sort of kept quiet and walked at the back until it was over.
Where's Elephant Song, Dave?
When David and Amy first met at the Serious Desert auditions in the Lake District, they became very close, but after a few days in the desert, Amy's view of David wasn't quite so affectionate.
He's killing me. We got on really well in the Lake District. Okay, it's a bit of a long story here. Got on really well in the Lake District because I know at that time we did kind of like each other, but then I started growing up with someone else, and ever since it's just like whoosh, my eyes have been opened, and he's just a complete idiot at the moment. This thing, he goes woman, whatever, you know. Whenever we're in the middle of something, it's like we're not brain dead, you know. You're not the big action man, get over it. And it's now getting annoying. I don't need to be patronised like that, especially by someone who's younger than me, for goodness sake. I don't need to be patronised like that. It's killer.
I just hope that the team cooperates and just does what, not does what I say, but listens to my ideas, because I'm not trying to be clever or anything here, but they usually are right, like today, and the day before that, and the day before that as well. So, not trying to sound big-headed or anything, but, you know, I just reckon I'm right, and I have turned out to be the last few days.
As the arguments rumbled on, the group suddenly found themselves facing a full-scale emergency on the mountain.
Everyone get yourselves into the shade.
On the way down, Martin lost his footing and had a nasty fall. He ended up with a badly split lip and a bleeding nose.
Go on, come back with me. Can you all make your way down this way? Just wait on there for a second, we're going to find you some shade.
The expedition doctor had to make sure he was well enough to go on.
But it's going to heal up alright, okay? Don't need any stitches or anything.
Although slightly dazed, Martin struggled back down the hill.
Well, as you can probably see, I had a bit of an accident today. I was trying to get down quite a steep rock, and my foot got stuck, and I just fell forward and hit my face on the rock. But I couldn't really feel it because it just hit it hard, so I could hardly feel it. until I stopped, and it was really painful.
Martin had this fall, and it scared the living daylights out of me. He just tumbled, and you know, I went to grab for him, but he was he literally was a couple of meters away, so I couldn't even attempt to.
He really did have quite a bad fall, and he did really well to just not to panic. He just sat there and he took it. And actually, when he fell over, he got up and he goes, I'm okay, and he had a bleeding nose, and I don't know, he had blood on his face, and had to be told to sit down again. So I think he was really brave to go through that, and I was relieved that it wasn't anything worse than that.
You're doing well, mate. Really well.
I've had a nosebleed on and off since 11 o'clock, and it's really getting on my nerves because I can hardly speak properly, and I can't breathe properly through my nose.
Let's have a look at you. You don't look that bad. You got a little bit of blood here and it's a little bit swollen, but mate, you don't look bad at all.
Cool.
The girls will still want to kiss you.
Under the burning heat of the Namibian sun, survival training continued. The most important lesson of all was to drink lots of water. Bruce and the expedition doctor demonstrated exactly how much the team needed to drink each day to avoid dehydration. But some of the team didn't follow the advice and soon felt the effects.
I'm feeling proper ill today. Really bad.
I haven't drunk enough water today, and it's really annoying how much water we've got to drink. We've got to drink loads, like 6 litres a day.
I wasn't drinking any water, and then I must have dehydrated really bad.
The water is absolutely disgusting. You have to have this, like, it's from underground and it tastes like minging, and it's like really boiling hot as well, and you have to drink about 1 litre an hour, which is really tough.
It's really hard to drink 6 litres a day, because at home I'd only drink 1 if I'm lucky, but 6 is loads, and it's quite hard to do.
Now I feel ill. My head is proper banging. Really bad head. I've had stuff that was just not working at all. Now I've got to eat something that Chris has made, and it just looks awful. He's put like tuna and sweet corn, which is alright. Then he's put peas and garlic herbs, chutney, sauce, and some mushroom soup, all in one with rice on the side. So that doesn't look too nice.
Although Perry wasn't too impressed with the team's cooking, some of the local alternatives were even less appetising.
Guys, Perry, we're going to look at some of the foods that you can collect in this part of the world.
No, he's got a little head.
Oh, really?
We tried some food that was quite unusual.
Have a good look.
No, it has to be done.
And the food is absolutely disgusting.
It's called a Makani worm.
Oh, allow it.
Allow it.
No.
We tried all the African foods, which you're not actually gonna eat unless you really have to. But I ate a worm, or no, what was it? Yeah, it was like some sort of caterpillar thing.
I can't do that, Bruce.
I'll do it.
Promise.
I'll try. I can't do it.
Please.
I'll do it. Come, Shalon, you have one chance at it.
Go on.
Yeah!
Is it eating you?
Yeah. I ate some really minging stuff like bugs and dried grass. Oh.
2, 3. Oh! That's horrible. That is really disgusting.
What is it, Bruce?
Literally tasted like a piece of ash, a piece of burnt wood. You chew it. It wasn't very good. But I didn't mind any of them. I would eat them, if I was starving.
Oh, I feel sick just thinking of it.
I'm either going to get a chance to eat a worm again.
It's already dead.
Even though Amy and Martin are vegetarians, both of them decided to try everything on the menu.
Bomb!
I thought, I might as well just try it, because even though I'm a vegetarian, I thought I'm never going to get the chance to do that again. So I put it in my mouth and I was trying to chew it, and then when it came to swallowing it, I was just sick. It brought it back up, but I didn't really feel sick after that. I just don't think it agreed with me, so I didn't really count because I didn't really eat it. So still haven't eaten meat.
Along with the food, life in camp was extremely basic. There was no electricity, water was rationed, and the straw hut loo was far from luxurious.
It's a big hole, basically. There's no chain, there's no system, there's no plumbing.
The conditions started to test everyone and made some of the team long for a good wash and some home comforts.
Oh, I wish I had a mirror. Got all the dirt from the lake in my hair and I can feel it on, on my face and things. I haven't actually seen my face for probably since about Sunday, maybe Monday actually, in the toilets. No, there weren't actually any mirrors in Johannesburg, so no, I haven't seen my face since about Sunday of last week. It's Friday now. It's so sticky and there's no water in camp at the moment, so we're going to have to go and... I think we've got 1 cup of water between 4 of us.
I've only had a shower once since I've been here, and it's like my 5th day or whatever, so I seriously stink.
We got ready for a shower, and then we just had to get dressed again. We couldn't have any shower because there was no water. I just felt so dirty. I broke down today. Actually today I just really wanted to go home. I just thought I had enough of this.
In the mornings I feel like, oh, I don't want to be here. Just every single morning I feel that. But then once we're doing stuff is really good because you're getting on with it and you're not thinking about it.
Anyway, we have to go now eat because the boys are actually cooking something. I don't know what they're actually cooking. And I have to go eat. I'll chat to you tomorrow if I'm still alive.
The following day, the whole team moved across country to a new camp called Umbakonja, where they would soon start their building project. Although they were still only living in mud huts, the new accommodation really raised their spirits.
This is nice!
This is complete heaven, compared to the last camp.
It's our first night in a camp. I haven't got a clue where it is, but the huts are quite nice. Considering living in the desert, this is like a 5-star hotel.
This camp is actually beautiful. It's actually really nice. The best so far.
We arrived here at Umbakonja, and here is so nice. And I got here and I was just like, yes, thank you so much, because it had a proper shower, nice toilet.
In fact, the new toilet impressed Martin and Perry so much that in their video diaries that night, they were moved to song.
Have you seen the new toilet?
No, I say that.
I wouldn't.
You seen the new toilet?
It's got leather seats.
It's got toilet paper, 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 paper.
That'll do, innit?
Is that it?
I think that's kind of good myself.
The group was starting to cope with the very basic conditions. It made them appreciate how different things were to life back home.
Out here is so different because you're so continually dirty and we're so continually sweaty and gross and horrible that, a shower, even like a water barrel, for goodness sake, with a tap is just luxury. It's something else.
Have a shower for the first time in a week. Actually, a first time in a week. A proper one. And it shows how much you appreciate cold water.
We're actually lucky for sea water to have a shower with. So whatever we get now, we actually have to make do with it.
When I get home, when I have a shower, I'll be thinking, I'll just be thinking I'm in like a mansion in a rich house or whatever, because it just feels so different.
Basically, at the end of this, it'll just make me think I can put up with anything.
After settling in, the team set straight to work building an enclosure for the camels that would soon carry all their equipment on their desert trek.
This is where we're going to be building our enclosure. It's going to have clay bricks around the outside with some foundations underneath. So it's a pretty big task.
The Namibian charity Save the Rhino Trust had asked for the enclosure to be built so the camels wouldn't have to be hobbled, tied up to stop them wandering off. The group had 3 days of extremely hard graft ahead of them. But as work started, some of the team felt Chris wasn't pulling his weight.
Today, when we started, everyone worked so well, and apart from one person.
Chris, you're not kind of lethargic and just annoying.
He was getting on everyone's nerves today, absolutely everyone's, because it's morning when we was packing up, he just sat around and he sat on the table with his head down and didn't do anything. And like, so he just sat there. Whenever you went up to him and said, "Oh, Chris, are you okay?" he just went, "Yeah, I'm fine."
But Chris wasn't fine. He was feeling left out and hid himself away all morning in one of the huts. It was up to expedition leader Emma to try and get him involved in the group.
You can't sit in the shade away from everyone for 2.5 weeks.
As much of it as possible.
I've got to look after all 8 of you. And if you're always off on your own, it makes our job a lot harder. And also it spoils the group dynamics. So even if you're only just doing it for me, go outside and join the guys. Yeah?
While Emma tried to lift Chris's spirits, the rest of the team didn't have much sympathy.
We started building the corral, and I've been telling everyone Chris is doing the nappering, and I say why. We were like digging our corral for the camels, and we were digging like a ditch to stick the bricks in, and everyone was getting on, even Holly and Martin. Everyone was trying because we've got like 3 days to accomplish this task, and Chris was sitting there going, me hands, and like Martin's telling me and a couple of other people, like a couple of lasses said that there's nothing wrong with his hands. I think he's just being lazy and he's starting to be really quiet, so I don't know if it's because he's stressed, but he's starting to do my head in.
I got in a bit of a mood when I got here. I was really in a bad mood. I was a bit annoyed with Martin. His humour is at the expense of others sometimes, and if you're going to give me, that's fine, but I was a bit down, and it didn't really help.
And then we was working through into the dark, and he was just sitting there, like, just kind of scraping the dirt with his hand, which I thought was so out of order, because we're trying to work as hard as we can to get this done, and he's not helping. And I just feel it's unfair on all the others.
We had a bit of an argument with Chris, unfortunately.
Fell out of Amy today, so. Because she's a perfectionist and everyone has to do what she says. I didn't. I was collecting firewood and now I did nothing. So.
I got a bit annoyed at him when we were building the enclosure because he was just standing there doing nothing. Okay, admittedly I just hit my hand on the big rock and I was pretty annoyed with that anyway, and just to see him standing there doing nothing just completely made my blood boil. And it was quite funny because I have Martin in my ear. He's not worth it, Amy, he's not worth it, leave it, honestly. Like, I didn't argue with him, I didn't shout at him or anything. I just said, look, you know, I had more like a debate with him, so I wasn't too impressed. It's just hard when you're like, absolutely wrecked, really tired, and then there's someone doing nothing. Kills, really does.
The Sirius Desert Team are in Namibia to help save the endangered desert rhino. As part of their training, each member of the group was taught how to track animals by local wardens from Save the Rhino Trust. For Martin and Amy, the experience was very special.
A little bit down here, isn't it? This is probably 1 day old.
Means he could be quite close.
I want to see him now with this close.
Me and Amy went out tracking, looking for rhinos with Bruce the whole time. The sort of atmosphere was so tense.
The dangerous thing about this is that it might be that we can't see it until we're quite close. Watch me all the time, watch my hand signals. Just gotta stay alert.
It was really quite exciting because no one from our group has seen any before. And then when we got there, we finally got there, and it was such a good sight. He came out and was walking across, and it was just amazing because they're so rare and so endangered that, you know, people don't even get to see them at zoos.
Excited? What do you think of that? You can really see him clearly now. That's what we've been following all day long.
To see it in the wild was just an experience that I'll never forget. But although that was good, when I saw it, I sort of started feeling a little homesick because I really wanted my mum and my dad and that to see it, to be there with me to sort of see what I was seeing, because now I'm not even going to be able to tell them what's happened today, which has been the most exciting day for another 2 weeks. So hopefully that, you know, the memories will still be fresh in my head, which I have no doubt what they will, because I'll never forget it, because it was just there. It was some of it was quite scary though, because at one point it charged up. It charged. He's running now.
Oh yeah, I see him.
He's running.
You don't want to get in the way of that one, is it?
It was just sort of an amazing day.
Back at camp, the building continued slowly. By this point, the group had been on the expedition for almost a week and were all starting to feel the strain.
I want some sleep because we're waking up at like 5:30 to 6 o'clock in the morning, but tomorrow we're waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and we go to sleep like it's now 11:15. I might not think that's that late, but when you've got to wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning the next day, it's just knackering.
Good morning. It's 5 o'clock on Tuesday morning. Time to get up and do some work.
It sort of all catches up on you, and then you get emotional, and then you get depressed, and then you get stressed, and then you take it out on other people. I just hope I don't get like that.
With only 3 days to complete the enclosure, the team started to appreciate the size of the task ahead of them.
I just hope everyone works tomorrow, because if they don't work tomorrow, we're not going to get it done. If we don't get it done, we don't get to do anything fun. So I hope we get it done tomorrow. But everyone has to work, and if they don't work, I'll get annoyed.
If we work hard, I think we can get it done in 3 days, but it's going to be really, really hard.
I really, really hope that we get in 3 days, because if we don't, if we just finish it on the 4th morning, we'll be like gutted because we could have finished it in that night.
I don't think we'll get it done in 3 days, because I just think that it was a lot to ask in the first place to have the whole thing done in 3 days, and I just think we're not going to get it done.
With energy levels and morale at an all-time low, the team are struggling to complete this part of the expedition, but with the opening ceremony arranged, they have little choice but to carry on. They're tired and frustrated, but things are about to get even more serious in the desert.
I was just wandered around doing nothing.
Don't know why I'm here, don't know where it's pit.
I've got all of man's hands off, building the rest of the camels enclosure.
I just want a hug with my mom.